Okay, so we're jumping into God of War here on the Steam Deck OLED. And right off the bat, the opening sequence just hits different on this screen. The colors, the contrast, it all pops in a way that feels almost cinematic. Kratos standing by the trees, axe in hand, you can already feel that weight in the atmosphere. It's moody, intense, and the deep blacks on this display really amplify the sense of isolation and tension that defines this game's early tone. The haptics from the deck give a solid feel as you're swinging the Leviathan axe for the first time. There's something about using a handheld like this and still feeling that power. It's surprisingly immersive. Navigating through the opening forest area, where Kratos starts to teach Atreus the basics, is still just as gripping as the first time, but now you're holding it all in your hands. The OLED makes the snow, the bark on the trees, and the flicker of firelight feel almost alive. That first combat encounter with the Draugr, it's fast, brutal, and the responsiveness on the controls is spot on. Whether you're pairing with your shield or throwing the axe, there's a crispness that makes the action satisfying and visceral. You really notice how tightly designed the game is once you're up close and personal with enemies. On a big screen, it's cinematic, but on the deck, it's intimate. You're right there in the thick of it. And then comes that first major moment, the stranger. That fight. Even knowing what's coming, it still shocks. The animations, the sound, the pacing, it's all masterfully done, and playing it handheld somehow makes it feel more personal. You feel the struggle in every punch, every block. It's raw. It's not just a technical showcase. It's emotional storytelling through gameplay. Honestly, it's hard not to get pulled in all over again. As the dust settles and Kratos and Atreus begin their journey, it's clear that this isn't just about big battles. There's an emotional core, a slow burn to everything. Seeing that reflected so clearly on the OLED screen while you're holding the world in your hands. That's something you have to experience to fully appreciate. It's God of War, but it's also something new, something more focused, more personal. From the moment you take control, the atmosphere pulls you in. The forest is dense, the snow crunches under Kratos' boots, and everything around you feels alive. The OLED screen brings out those rich contrasts, deep shadows tucked beneath trees, subtle lighting on Kratos' skin, tiny details that really immerse you. When Atreus starts talking, there's a quiet tension between them that sets the tone. You can feel the weight of the story before the action even ramps up. Then, that first axe throw. It just lands with force, both visually and physically through the controls. It's incredibly satisfying. Even walking through the early areas, there's so much texture. Stone walls, moss, worn leather. It all feels tactile. You start to forget you're playing on a handheld because the world feels that present. It's not just a game you're watching. It's one you're carrying with you. At 50 FPS, the gameplay feels smooth and responsive, especially during combat. Animations stay fluid, and camera movement remains steady, offering a consistent and immersive experience without major dips or stutters. Running at 60 FPS, God of War feels incredibly fluid on the Steam Deck OLED. Combat is noticeably snappier. Every dodge, parry, and axe swing connects with more precision. Camera pans are smooth, making exploration and fast-paced fights more immersive and easier on the eyes. The responsiveness in controls is tighter, which really shines during intense moments like boss fights or when managing multiple enemies. Even small details like Kratos' movement animations or transitions between cutscenes and gameplay feel more seamless. It's a noticeable upgrade that adds polish without sacrificing the cinematic feel. That extra smoothness doesn't just look good. It makes the whole experience feel sharper and more connected to your inputs. At 70 FPS, God of War on the Steam Deck OLED feels incredibly refined. The gameplay reaches a new level of fluidity. Movements are buttery smooth and every input feels immediate. Traversing the environment, from climbing ledges to sprinting through combat zones, has a seamless flow that enhances immersion. The higher frame rate really benefits combat. Chaining attacks, blocking, and reacting to enemy cues becomes almost instinctual. It's subtle but impactful. The game feels more alive, more reactive. Even during fast camera rotations or chaotic battles, there's no jitter or hesitation, just clean, continuous motion. Visuals remain sharp, and that OLED screen adds to the clarity, with smooth motion making lighting and effects even more striking. Once you feel that extra headroom in performance, it's hard to go back. It adds a layer of finesse that elevates the entire experience without compromising the game's cinematic weight. At 80 FPS, God of War feels incredibly responsive, almost effortless in how it plays. Every action, from swinging the axe to dodging an incoming blow, happens with a near-instant connection between your input and what's happening on screen. It enhances your control during combat, especially in more chaotic encounters where precision matters. The camera glides smoothly, even during fast turns or quick cutscene transitions, and there's a real sense of fluidity that deepens immersion. It's not just about speed, it's about consistency. The visuals stay crisp, animations blend more naturally, and the OLED display makes the whole experience feel more cinematic without losing responsiveness. At 90 FPS, God of War reaches a level of smoothness that feels almost unreal for a handheld. Combat becomes razor sharp. Every combo, block, and dodge flows effortlessly. The higher frame rate makes transitions between animations look nearly flawless, and there's a heightened sense of control in every moment. Even fast camera movements stay clean, with no blur or judder, letting you track enemies and explore the world with total clarity. The added fluidity doesn't just improve visuals, it makes the entire experience feel more dynamic, more responsive, and incredibly immersive